ensure the rule of law, the separation of powers, and freedom of speech. Okay, this is too good. But I have to join this this YDSA call right now, chat. Okay. I want to download Zoom. They always want me to download Zoom. God damn it. Wait, I don't want to download the Zoom video client. What the fuck? Why doesn't it have the whole, like, if you don't want to download Zoom client, use the browser? Why do you uninstall Zoom? I don't have it. I just don't have Zoom. Okay, now I have to fucking install Zoom. Okay, god damn it. Okay. Chat, hold on. I'm muted. I'm trying to hear what is going on in the, I don't know why I can't hear the actual participants. My video is on, but I for some reason cannot hear the participants. I don't know what it is, but hopefully I'll be able to figure that out. Press join audio. I thought I did. Enable audio. How the fuck do you do that? Under the audio, you can change your audio output. No, there's no audio output. There's just participants, apps, more. What the make sure the audio output is correct. I don't know how to fix the audio output, dude. I've never done this on the fucking actual Zoom application. Click the arrow next to the microphone mute. Oh, audio settings. Speaker. Roadcaster Pro.
Important, they're significant. And so I think that to me, a lot of what organizing means is building community and building space for people to exist how they want to, in spite of directly the socioeconomic factors that bosses, corporations, companies put in place to do the exact opposite. So I think that like ultimately unionizing is a really important force. And I think it's something that it's made my college experience so much better. So I just wanted to put that out there as my answer. I'll also put my contact information in the chat. If you are interested in texting or emailing me, I will respond.
Great. Thank you so much, Ruby. And thanks again, everyone who's here. We've got one more speaker, and I just want to again plug Red Hot Summer. And our new speaker is Hasan Piker. So if there are viewers from Hasan's stream here, welcome. We're going to post the URL in the chat. This is a 6-week labor organizing program that's being put on by YDSA, open to any young worker interested in learning how to organize their workplace. There's going to be training sessions, discussions on labor history by student leaders in the movement with organizing experience at Starbucks, Amazon, campus labor unions. So that URL is tinyurl.com/Red Hot Summer. It's a 6-week program that's going to start Tuesday, June 21st. Hasan, can you hear all right?
Yeah, I can hear you guys now. Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Great.
All right, perfect. I'm not that Hasan, big of a boomer.
Hasan, thank you for coming so much. And my question for you is, why is organizing collectively important to fighting against pessimism that you might sort of encounter if you keep your politics just to sort of the internet and discussions with friends? And we're just asking people to speak for like 5 minutes.
I think that it is completely understandable to feel pessimistic, especially the way that things are nowadays, where it feels like there's so much political inaction from obviously ranging from obviously the Republican Party's like vulturous, parasitic, sometimes bloodthirsty attitudes, all the way to the Democratic Party's, I would say, malicious incompetence or even criminal negligence. So one of the things that has been a saving grace for at least me and numerous other people in my community as well has been seeing the summer of labor, or I guess like what is it technically the spring of labor. There was a lot of labor activism going on, and it's still ongoing. Obviously, there's a massive W for Amazon with Chris Smalls. Starbucks workers unionizing all around the country. And the reason why that is, in my opinion, a hopeful prospect is because it's basically the only mechanism that we have to have some semblance of control, to have some semblance of power in the political sphere, in the most important microcosm, right? Your workplace. You're spending an incredible amount of time there. And if you are made to believe that you have some kind of control over your workplace that you spend 80% of your adult lives in, then you will be able to ultimately create a mechanism of power to force the Democratic Party that would otherwise never listen to you to action. So seeing that, and seeing labor organizing all around the country gives me a lot of optimism personally, because I think that one, in the immediate, you get better workplace conditions, you get better pay, hopefully, right? Or at least there's enough empirical evidence that you do get higher pay. You get higher pay even if you're not a unionized workplace as a consequence of unions bargaining collectively. So it's all good. I see no downsides to it across the board. That's my take on it.
Great. Thank you so much, Hasan. No, this is great. And welcome again to your viewers. So we have a couple minutes here for questions before we wrap up. And again, the links are being shared to sign up. And I really want to encourage everyone who stuck out this call to do so and come to the first meeting of this on June 21st, Tuesday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern. So the first question here that's been selected for Ian from the chat is a question about your union at Dartmouth. Why does the union think it's important to connect labor fights to the fight for Palestinian liberation? And just take a couple minutes with your answer if you can. And again, a reminder to the viewers, if you have questions, please submit them in the Q&A. We've got a couple minutes if you have questions, say, for Jazz or any of the other speakers. Thanks so much. All right, Ian, go ahead.
Yeah, so essentially, it's like we fundamentally believe that we have a unique opportunity, given our position as students at Dartmouth, to actually, be able to tilt the scales and, these various different struggles. Because as I was saying before, Dartmouth is this very old institution of capital and of imperialism. At Dartmouth College, we have, a lot of ties to research and development for weapon developers like Northrop Grumman or Boeing or Raytheon. We do academic exchange with Israeli academic institutions. We have professors here that are on the World Zionist Congress. And we've had a long history of, the suppression of students and professors and other faculty members who have been outspoken about the liberation of Palestine. And we believe that as compared to before, we had tried doing BDS campaigns even a year ago. We had done BDS campaigns, but we think that now with the union that we actually have, something that has a bit more leverage. In my experience here, in the pandemic, a lot of sort of the activism that was happening was a lot of advocacy, letter writing, petition signing, and things like that. And the college could just say no and just dismiss all those things that people were advocating for. But now with the union, we have a bit more teeth, I would say, in terms of actually being able to use a bit of our power to make real change in these areas. And we also believe that it is in keeping with the sort of historic traditions of the campus left at Dartmouth back in the 70s and 80s. The Afro-American Society here at Dartmouth, as well as its allied organizations, had waged a successful divestment campaign from the apartheid government in South Africa. And so we feel that, this is now our historical obligation to step into, and we want to use whatever means available us, whatever means we have available to us in order to, fight for Palestinian liberation. Yeah.
Great, thanks, Ian. The next question is for Becca, which was, why should students choose unionization over other forms of protest or action?
Yeah, so a lot of what Ian just said really pertains to this. So I think everything that Ian said about how working class students are concentrated in workplaces at private universities especially is really important here. And there's also the fact that higher education today isn't really organized like a public good for the most part. It's organized in a commodified way as a consumer good, right? So we don't really have democratic action over education in the way that we might hope to if we are really considering it a public good. Like we typically say, education is a human right, but what does that really mean if you're having to pay tuition or go into enormous amounts of debt to pay your way through school? So I think the answer to this question is really the same answer as why we would concentrate effort in the labor movement as opposed to any other social movement. There's a place and time for all sorts of protests, and there are ways that all sorts of protests can challenge capital and can challenge political power. But labor is an especially powerful one, especially at this point in time where we as students, where we as consumers, we as political subjects are truly powerless in a lot of aspects of our life, but we are powerful in the workplace because of our labor power.
Thanks so much, Becca. The next question I see in the chat, I think I'm going to ask Jazz specifically this one. Someone asked, for themselves speaking personally at least, talking to other workers and bosses as part of organizing and negotiating sounds really intimidating. Any advice for how to overcome or mitigate those anxieties?
That is a very relatable question. It can be incredibly anxiety inducing. So completely understand that. I think, one major thing is that's why you don't do it on your own, because having that backup makes it a lot less intimidating. When I was 16 and working at Panera's, I marched into my manager's office once to demand a raise. And I was like, if you don't give me this raise that you promised me, then I'm going to quit. And he was like, okay. And I was completely floored because I did not expect that. But, now when we are having delegations or bargaining meetings, it's not, one person against the boss, it's all of us. And the conversation goes very differently. But I think in terms of having one-on-ones, that's why organizing is built on relationships, and why, having friendships with coworkers and, knowing people outside of work or being a really great coworker and building that rapport is so important, because then, if you're having conversations about life, organizing is just another aspect of life that would come up or that you would bring up.
Great. Thank you so much, Jazz. Next question is for Hasan. Hasan, what do you think? First of all, Hasan, where did you get your shirt? Second of all, Hasan, what do you think particularly visible people on the left, like yourself, can do to support the labor movement, online or offline?
I got the shirt from Ethan Klein, Teddy Fresh, but it's his brand. But which is completely unrelated to the other question. Okay, left celebrities, I feel like is a weird thing to even come to terms with. I mean, you got like Danny DeVito. I guess that's it. Like, there's like, I mean, there are some activists in Hollywood, I would say, but across the board, I think like what left celebrities, I guess, can do, if I even consider myself to be one, I don't know. I would go so far as to just help organizing efforts, uplift them as best as possible, fund them. I mean, this is something that I personally do as much as possible. I try to do it as best as possible, considering that I'm a profoundly fortunate person. I obviously have a gigantic community that also focuses not just on like, memes on the internet and sometimes watching reality television, but also try to do as much like as much leftist agitprop as possible. But there is I do have a gigantic community of people who have either changed their minds about particular things or have recognized their position, their class position specifically, and have taken efforts in their own lives to do something about it. And I think that's the most meaningful thing that we can do. There are some YDSA chapter presidents in my community as well that were mentioning earlier. That they were stoked that I was going to be on this call, but that's pretty much all you can expect from people, I think. And to, I don't know, keep their head down when people are yelling at them for meaningless things, because ultimately, if you truly have a moral compass and you genuinely believe the things that you say, then it should not matter if people are yelling at you on the internet. So I don't know. It's like a very specific thing for left celebrities. So I don't know how to answer that question at all. I think that it's ultimately meaningless. You either get out of the way or you try to help as best as you can, oftentimes from behind the scenes as best as you can, and continue doing propaganda and try to urge people to better their lives personally. And one of the most meaningful ways that you can do that is by organizing your workplace.
I think that was a totally coherent answer. Thank you, Hasan. It's a weird position to be in.
No, because like everyone here is super, like you guys are awesome. Like everyone I'm on the panel with, like you guys are very super serious people. You are actually doing you're doing meaningful change in your immediate vicinity. So like for me, I'm just like can I curse on this?
Sure.
Okay, I'm just a dickhead on the internet. You know what I mean? So it's I shouldn't take up space here.
Yeah. So I'm gonna raise one more question and then we're gonna wrap it up. And so before I ask Charlie a question, I just want to thank you all for taking the evening out to be a part of this. Really encourage you to learn more about the program. The links are being shared and take part in it. You can do it all just online, so it's really low level commitment. And I can tell you personally, my view is there's never been a more exciting time in my lifetime to be a part of the labor movement, and to be a young person at the center of the labor movement is a dream come true and about as energizing as anything else. So I really think that you don't want to look back and feel like you should have joined this movement now. So my last question is for Charlie here. Why should young people interested in labor organizing get jobs as teachers, like you said you're doing, or UPS drivers, instead of working directly for unions?
Yeah, so over the course of recent years, socialists who have been recognizing that we need to make interventions in the labor movement to organize workers have had some strategies of seeking to change and transform the labor bureaucracy, which is in many ways has stood as an obstacle to worker militancy. But an alternative view is seeing that young people, workers, socialists who want to transform the labor movement should take up jobs in already unionized workplaces as the rank and file of those unions to transform from the bottom up, because there's a structural position that workers have. They can organize with their coworkers, they can talk together and talk about going on strike, and they can kind of, by engaging in direct conflict with the bosses, the capitalist owners of whatever firm they're engaged in, they can, in that process, push that labor bureaucracy to, hold them accountable, fight for demands. As Becca talked about, the need for democracy that comes from the rank and file. And it's also the best place that we can engage with workers for that militancy to talk about, our politics with each other, to be open to new ideas, that it's the best place for socialists to be in order to kind of push for that change internally with the union and fighting for more demands on the shop floor. That being a labor staffer is a much needed position, but there's a limited role to play as far as influencing the role of bargaining, so that encouraging young people and socialists to take up jobs in industries that are strategic for the economy as the rank and file.
Great. Thank you so much, Charlie. I'm hearing from the YDSA folks, a bunch of new people have signed up this past hour. So just in closing, I really want to encourage you to not only sign up, the link is being shared a million times. I won't say it out loud. Hasan, be sure to share it in your stream. And, you know, and folks, you know, as I said at the beginning, the point of the program is to get these labor skills to as many young people as possible. So please invite friends, coworkers, anyone you know might be interested. If you invite a couple coworkers, again, of course, that's a great proto organizing committee at your workplace. So I just really want to thank you all for attending. Thanks so much to the incredible speakers who are genuinely at the center of some of the most sort of optimistic, inspiring things going on in the country right now. And thanks to the YDSA folks for putting this together. And someone did ask if this is going to be online. Yes, it was being recorded, and I'm informed this will be available for viewing. So I hope many of you will see each other on June 21st at 8 p.m. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Alex. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Bye, guys. Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Okay, that was a brief introduction to YDSA. For those of you who don't know, the Young Democratic Socialists of America. They are participating in what is called the Red Hot Summer, a 6-week program open to any young worker interested in organizing their workplace. The Red Hot Summer program is offering labor organizing training sessions and discussions on labor history led by student leaders of the labor movement with organizing experience at Starbucks, Amazon, and campus labor unions. No boomers, okay? You need to be young, which myself, I am not. I'm just kidding. Chat can't help themselves. What is this? Okay, dude. Why is Hasan in this young DSA stream? He's old. I feel the same way when I hang out with YDSAers. It's real amazing. It's time to join. Yeah, well, if you're too old, you can join the regular DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, okay? There you go. Socialists are officially ageist confirmed. Yeah, it's true. Wait, what the fuck was I going to do? Oh, yeah, we were looking at this. The goal of the program is to give young workers the tools to organize their workplace and discuss how the labor movement can play a role in winning fights against racism, sexism, homophobia, climate change, and imperialism. The sessions will be on Tuesday nights from June 21st to July 26th, and you can sign up here in this link that we are posting in the chat. I will be talking to the BBC. I'd be way too distracted to even speak with Haas in front of me. What do you... Okay, that's my chat. That's not the chat, right? Or wait, is it the chat? Yeah, that's my chat. You guys are... It's us. That's you guys. Hasan just turned in my ballot for the primaries, wrote you in all the spots where you were unopposed. You'll make a great county clerk. Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, write me in. I should have done a writing campaign for fucking mayor. The session will be on Tuesday nights. The largest new labor upsurge of our lifetime is taking place, and young people are playing a leading role. Young people have repeatedly risen up in the past decade from Black Lives Matter protests, climate change rallies, and the Palestinian liberation movement, and the Bernie Sanders presidential campaigns. Young people are also learning. Dude, no boomers, okay? I'm a fucking boomer myself, and we're outdated. We're out of touch, okay? Young people are the future. You will be building the building blocks for future generations, okay? Are you still having Cawthorn on stream? Eventually. Anyway, the average age of organizers at Amazon Labor Union was just 26, and many leaders of Starbucks are college students. Student workers are also organizing unions on campus, and some of the largest strikes in the past couple of years have been led by graduate workers. These unions are not just organizations to improve workplace conditions. They are a part of a movement, workers that can change the world. Come learn how to join the labor movement. Thursday, these are all things that happen already. June 21st to 26th is when the weekly training sessions of political education discussions led by new union leaders are going to be happening. You guys always ask me, Hasan, how do I organize in my workplace? How do I do this? Hasan raises a lot of dollars for leftist causes, but he also owns a house, so true. True. Madison Cawthorn did not even fucking read my last message. Check out what the Clemson Union professor used to look like. Oh, damn, dude. Glad he shaved for the PragerU videos. Okay. I will be talking to the BBC in a little bit about gun control in America, okay? And I have to, but, you know, obviously before that, we're going to finish this fucking Marxist, we're going to finish this true, real Marxist agitprop. The truth about Marxism. This is what I should have shown the people. I should have been like, you guys are all liars. You've been exposed by PragerU, and that this is what real Marxism has done. You know what I mean? But I was too cowardly. I could not stand up for the truth about Marxism, as, you know. What do you do when in your union that doesn't utilize collective bargaining, especially when workers take it for granted and don't pay dues? What? Are you doing an interview with an accent? Yes. Chatters will never stop memeing. Azam, bro, what are we talking about? I showed up late. They did not say, you did not say that in the chat. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to run the top of the hour ad break again, and then we'll talk to the BBC as well. YDSA Los Angeles Poggers.